So this is going to be a kind of random mini thrift haul slash some things I found on Vinted recently. There are other things I have found on Vinted which I will put in a separate video. No particular pattern. I've also gotten some stuff on Chadiera, which I'm still waiting for it to be shipped to me, and I will have a separate haul for, actual ponies, My Little Ponies. So I think to start with first, I will show, because I've gotten kind of into fakey ponies again recently, and I've been thinking about how it's hard to find like the ones that I actually like here. I feel like it's mostly newer fakies. I find more real vintage My Little Pony than I do vintage fakies, weirdly enough. And certainly more than I do like modern G4 ponies. Like I'm not looking for them, but yeah, I just never find them. And I got one of the G4, like I've had gotten some accessories at the thrift stores. Anyway, um, this is my current collection of, you know what, this camera is way too close. This is my current collection of lanyard fakies. I love the earlier era. So like these guys, this is a lanyard, not a fakie of a lanyard, because I do have some fakies of these fakies as well. Or at least one anyway. So I really like these. They come in pastel colors. They're very sweet and cute looking. These guys I got at at Pony Fest here in Sweden. So they were, really cheap. I think they're quite cute. This one is newer. This one's from I don't know, mid 2000s or something. I really love these pastel early ones. This one I also found at the thrift. So I found one lanyard pony at the thrift. I really love these little sitting babies. So this guy is a fakie of the lanyard fakies, but also pretty cute, just like even lower quality plastic. Like these guys are, they're not as good as My Little Pony, but they're pretty good. And this one is also an actual lanyard pony. It's just from the 2000s. That's why it's a super bright color instead. Anyway, so I've been thinking about, I'll move these guys out of the way. I've been thinking about fakey ponies, right? And then I thought, oh, there was that thrift store. Now I've been looking for them at thrift stores, and of course I have found none. None ever. And then I went to this thrift store where I had previously found a huge bag of fakies, which I didn't get, which I kind of regret now, but I think they were much more modern fakies, and I'm really more into the vintage ones. Anyway, I went back there recently, and look what I found. Two, like, I'm pretty sure these guys are the 90s lanyard fakies. So this one is the same one that I already have, and she does have cut hair, but her hair is more pink than the other one. My other one, the hair is quite faded. And then I found this orange one, which I don't have. She also has cut hair, but I mean, she's quite cute. It seems to be random what side of the body their symbol is on. But anyway, so I got those guys. I also got a lot of lanyard ponies because these are like, I don't know if these are, the ones I got are in a different mold. So I think these ones are like the teen mold, and this is also a teen mold, or is it a full mold? And then this is like the baby mold. I don't know. Anyway, the ones that I got, they have the leg on the other side is up, and they're like slightly taller, and just like slightly larger than these guys. So that will be fun. Like I said, I ordered a big lot of them on Vinted for like $5 or less than $5. It was super cheap anyway. And then of course I had to pay like $8 or $9 for shipping. Womp womp, like almost twice as much as I paid for all the ponies. So I will maybe make another video about those guys. I just thought it was so funny that I found these guys in the thrift store just after I had thought, I never find, because I've passed on so many fakies, but like I said, so many of the fakies that I've passed on have been, just like fakies of fakies of fakies. Like they're really bad quality. Like these are actually pretty nice quality. And I remember having some fakies when I was little that I also really enjoyed. You know, I had like, I'll have to see if I can find a picture of the ones that I had. They had like the inset plastic eyes or whatever. But they were much nicer than most of the ones I find in the thrift stores here. And these guys are also much nicer. So that was really fun to find. And that was after I had gone, like, because I found these guys yesterday or the day before, and then the day before that I was in one of my favorite thrift stores and I spotted this guy, and you know, it's cute. It has a cute little face. The head is kind of squishy. The head turns, the legs move. It's just like, it's very nice. It says Mattel 1981. And I was like, I wonder if it's, you know, from something. It turns out I'm pretty sure this is a Barbie pet, which is really fun because I found an early Barbie pet, like Barbie's dog Beauty or something like that. I don't know. Really cute anyway, and I'm thinking of being stereotypical and giving it like a big pink bow or something. Anyway, I wasn't gonna pick it up because there wasn't really anything else there, but then when I went back to look at it, obviously I did pick it up, went back to look at it, and I looked up and I spotted Polly Pocket. I have never found Polly Pocket at the thrift, basically ever. I've never found Polly Pocket at the thrift here. They're quite common online and they're not that expensive online, so I don't understand why I never ever find any of them at the thrift, because really I find so many ponies at the thrift, you know, and G1 ponies, and so I don't know. Anyway, so this is the money box, like not one that I'm looking for, but obviously I'm gonna keep it. It's Polly Pocket that I found at the thrift. It's really cute. It's in really nice condition. And if I can lift these up, it had some pieces in it. So obviously, here's Polly. She's in really nice condition. Here's Mr. Moneybags. There's the little car. It's missing its back wheels. And then, most exciting of all, these Star Castles figures. So we have, you know, some Star Castles princess, and some tiny little Star Castles dragon. Look at that. Adorable. So I'm really happy to have those guys. Maybe I'll set them on top here. Yeah, so like I said, obviously I found this at the thrift, so I'm basically stuck keeping it from now on. But I also have to wonder, like it says 1p, 10p, like for, you know, for pounds. It's got like the UK money, English money on it, right? And so then I'm like, because I found it in a thrift store here in Sweden, you just have to wonder how did it end up here, you know? Anyway, just the pastel colors, and it is so cute. And maybe, I don't know, I can figure out something else to put and store in here somehow, but let's see, we'll put that over there. It doesn't want to stand up because it has the clip on it or whatever. And then I will put these guys. These guys are just in amazing condition. I don't know what set they went to, but like, can you see her up there? It's hard for me to tell what's visible. Yeah. And then this cute little dragon. Love it. Okay. So there's that. Now I'm like, where is the tiny little Pegasus that I have? Oh, there it is. I still have this one. This one is actually from my childhood, believe it or not. I remember this so well because I thought that I had lost it, you know, and then I came back to my grandparents' house one summer and my grandma had found it somewhere at Grandma and Grandpa's house, and she put it like on the little decorative soap dish in the bathroom, you know, in the basement, so that I would find it when I went, you know, to go to the bathroom. It's just a fun little memory, I guess. But yeah, that was really fun to find this guy at the thrift. Couldn't believe that. Anyway, so there's that. And then there is also some other things. So let's see, what should I do next? Obviously, this I didn't find at the thrift. I found this, I mean, on Vinted, but I got it for a very good price. There's one that is 100% complete on Tradera, and I didn't want to spend, it's like $75 or something. I didn't want to do that. So I got this one for like 27, which is kind of, I mean, it's kind of a lot, but I don't buy Polly Pockets that often, and I figured it was a pretty okay price. So this one doesn't have any of the stickers on it. It's slightly discolored on this piece, but the rest of it is really nice, and I bought it, I mean, I will eventually, once I have a trade in the works, and then I also have several of the travel set from a friend of mine, and then from the trade, and then this was one of the only ones that I still don't have, like, either in my collection or on the way, and I love this collection so much, and I love that this one is shaped like a chest. That's just so cool, and I have a very specific spot for it. So anyway, this one isn't complete. It doesn't have any of the figures, but that's okay because I don't know that I care that much about the Polly Pocket figures. Okay, now this is definitely in the way. But what was most important to me, because I have a bunch of Polly Pocket figures in my collection, what was most important to me, it's missing this, and it's missing the little island that goes on top of this island. But, I just didn't want it to be completely blank in here. Like, I think this island is really cool, and I think this little piece is so cool. This little hammock, and then I realized, which I'd never noticed before, I mean, I haven't had this set, but it has like a little parrot sitting there. This piece is just so cool, and I think that, I mean, there would have been a lot of play value in this. It's like a cruise ship. Oh yeah, and this piece comes out. This would have been so fun to play with as a kid. It would have been so fun to play with. And, of course, I think the piece that would most want is there was a little, like, miniature of the set, like a little miniature chest that you could, put in any of the Polly Pocket spots on the ocean or whatever, on the island or whatever. Yeah, lots of play value in here. But these two pieces were the most important for me to have, in the set, as opposed to anything else. So I mean, other people have probably showed this in more detail, but yeah, I would have loved this as a kid. I would have had so much fun looking at all the cool little, tide pools and everything. I mean, it came with like a surfboard and a sail and, 2 dolls and their little bags and everything. It is a very cool set, and yeah, a lot to play with. They have their little bunks there. They have their little bathroom and shower and their little balcony and the pool. I would have also loved this as a kid. Oh, I see. You turn the, duh. I hadn't quite figured that out. But yeah, really, really cool, really fun set. And I 100%, because that's the other thing. I mean, most of the time this will be stored closed, obviously. So, yeah, it didn't need to be 100% complete. But like I said, I actually like when the stickers are on the travel sets, but weirdly enough, like, pretty much all of this particular set that I've seen, most of the time it doesn't have the stickers on it. So I wonder, I'm like, what's that about? That's interesting. Okay, so next, this was one of the first things that I bought on Vinted after a long drought of not buying anything. And I don't understand, because like, I have searched for these so many times, and when I found this listing, it had been up for months and I had never found it. Anyway, that was the Posh Pets, Barbie Posh Pets Kitten Style, which came out in, I don't know, 2003, 2004. I was completely obsessed with these sets as a kid. I didn't care about Barbie herself, like wasn't interested in the dolls, but I was so interested in the little critters. And to be honest, like the tiny little kittens are absolutely my favorite part. I mean, they're so goofy, early 2000s with these giant fancy eyes and everything. The seller also sent, you know, some of the other accessories that would have come with them, but it didn't come with any of the crowns or bows because they all have these little holes in the top of their head so they can wear these little crowns and bows that came with the set. But that's okay because you know what? These guys, this is really all I wanted from this set. So there's 3 different poses. There's a little, you know, lifted paw pose. So this would have been the special one that would have come inside the mama cat, who's really weird. It's like a big square box with a cat head stuck on it, basically, you know, so that they could all fit inside there. And then there's this one who's just sitting down. And then there's the cutest mold, in my opinion, is this one. Adorable. So I also found in a thrift shop this year, not that long ago, I found this guy. So this is from Barbie Posh Pets puppy style. Like obviously this one was kitten style. So I would love to find the rest of these puppies, which they follow the same pattern as this. You know, like there's one just sitting down and there's one with the paw out and then there's a pink, special pink one or whatever. So I'd love to find the rest of these guys. Yeah, mostly interested in the tiny little animals. That's what I was obsessed with as a kid, right? So I was so excited to find those. Are they in the picture? Yes. I was so excited to find those. And then it's kind of a long story. You know, I haven't been collecting dolls really, or I've been kind of, you know, I sold a lot of my doll collection, not really interested in dolls, but there is one that I have been thinking about for a long time, and that was this one Shadow High doll. What is her name? Zoe Electra. So I found her, and I wasn't gonna get her, you know, I didn't want to pay for shipping or whatever. I need to move my camera back even more because I can't see anything here. I didn't want to pay for shipping, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I was thinking about getting a new one on Amazon, but it was quite expensive. Anyway, I found this one on Vinted for a very good price. And before I start talking about her, also from the same seller, I got this Barbie pet. So this Barbie pet is from my era of Barbie. I had a lot of these. Like, yeah, it says 2002 on the mold. So I had a lot of these in the early 2000s. They had like pet pairs and different things. I never had this one, but I remember this set because these cats came with princess hats. So there would have been another cat in the set, probably with a purple princess hat. I haven't been able to find a picture of the set in box, but anyway, I did a bundle deal with these two. And so that was pretty good. So I'm happy to have this guy, this weird little early 2000s Barbie cat anyway. Yeah. Anyway, so my thoughts with this Shadow High doll. So I've never had a Shadow High or a monster, Shadow High or Rainbow High doll, because, and she also came with all her stuff, but I don't care very much about that. But you know what I was thinking is I sold some of my Novi Stars dolls, and I don't really regret that, but I still have one Novi Stars doll. I have the pink, like, Create a Monster, Monster High doll. Let's see if I can pull her out of my collection. And so I've been thinking a lot about turning this doll into some sort of alien, right? Like, I really don't like her face up. I've never customized a doll before. I would try and customize her and change her, you know, turn her into an alien instead of a blob girl. I guess this is just an idea I have, right? And then I have my one Nova Stars left, who is Mally Tasker. And I don't know, I just like the idea of an alien doll, which is funny because, like I said, I sold the rest of my Nova Stars and I don't really miss them, but there's just like I'm kind of like one doll from each line almost at this point. That's not true because I still have a couple of Rochelle Goyles and I absolutely love her. I was thinking earlier today, or maybe the other day, I was like, you know, maybe are there some other Monster High dolls that I want? And it's like, no. It's only Rochelle who I like. I would absolutely love to have some of her, you know, other, not variation dolls, but you know, that set with her gargoyle boyfriend, whatever his name is, and the Ghoul Talk set and all of those are all amazing. I'm just not willing to spend big bucks on a doll. And I'm not really willing to spend big bucks on a pony either. I'm kind of only willing to spend big bucks on a Polly Pocket set, you know, like to get all the tiny little pieces. And even then, it's like, I don't know, you know, or maybe a really unusual Fantasy Fillies or something, but I have most of those that I want. Anyway, long story short, I got her for a really good price. She is the only Shadow High / Rainbow High doll that I've ever been interested in. Like I said, I've thought about ordering her new many times and just have never done it. I don't know, because I kind of have a no new toys rule. I kind of have a no dolls rule, you know, and I have found the occasional I've never found Ever After High at the thrift. I have found Monster High at the thrift. I have found the occasional Rainbow High at the thrift. But yeah, I've checked several times and she's really the only one that I'm interested in. So yeah. Oh yeah, and the previous owner added some rhinestones and stuff to her face, which I think is really cool looking. Anyway, I would really love to make her like some pants and boots or something. You know, I'm a huge Star Trek fan and I feel like I have been for years, and I feel like she could be turned into some sort of, I don't know, green girl alien that you'd see on Star Trek. Same with this girl, and like I said, Mally Tasker, and then I have the Sugar Planet space set. It was just one of those themes that I like. Like, I love Arctic and winter themed toys, and I love space themed toys and sets like that. So yeah. So I am excited to own her. Like, she's a beautiful doll. However, there are some things I don't like. Because this is my first Rainbow High, Shadow High doll that I've ever like actually held in my hands, basically. Except for that one I saw at the thrift one time. I don't love these giant fingernails that they have. I think that's weird. The details on the jacket are so cool. This is a really detailed piece, and I think I would definitely like that as a kid. The doll is really beautiful, but like her head is so big and it doesn't really turn very well. Like, she's not like, the Monster High dolls are just so posable. She's not actually that posable. Her joints are quite stiff, and the knee joints are like, this is weird. This looks weird when she's sitting down, right? So, and like I said, she looks a little weird scale-wise. I mean, obviously, Mally Tasker, the Nova Stars doll that I have, you know, she's obviously also a different scale. You know what? I'm actually gonna go get her and see how she looks with these two. yeah, anyway, here's Mally Tasker. She's like super tiny compared to the other two, but I just feel like the the head of the Rainbow High Shadow High dolls is just like gigantic, and she just looks weird with every other doll in my collection. I don't know. They can all be aliens together. I just like that I kind of have this little collection of alien dolls, and I would love to somehow give I would love to somehow give these other two dolls antenna or something, or little space helmets or something to make them look more alien-ish. Um, yeah, no, she's a beautiful doll. I don't think it doesn't make me want to get any more of them just because she's so like heavy and kind of difficult to pose. I don't know. Um, we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I do like this doll, but she's just kind of a little bit strange looking. But that's what we're going for, I guess. I just don't necessarily like the super, what would you call it, like Instagram baddie vibe that these dolls have going on, like with the nails and everything. I mean, obviously, I've just cut mine for climbing purposes, but yeah, I think it would be fun to make her look more alien, give her some antennae or something. And yeah, I'm actually quite happy to have her, but let's see if I can make her fit in here. Okay, well, to be honest, now I feel like I have talked about these toys for long enough. Like I said, I do have a bunch of My Little Ponies that I would like to make a video about. There is one that I'm still waiting on from Tradiera. I'm a little worried because I don't have any tracking information on it. It was one of those, it's a teeny tiny baby pony, and I assume they just sent it, with a stamp, kind of like in a padded envelope. But I really don't trust the post here. So yeah, we'll see. There's that, and then there are a few more things that I got on Vinted, which I would also like to talk about, but maybe I will do that in another video. So yeah, this this video, I guess I found some fakey ponies at the thrift, a Barbie pet at the thrift, and then on Vinted, oh, and the Polly Pocket, and then on Vinted I got another doll, some more Barbie pets, and another Polly Pocket. So yeah,